The ash in her hair. Episode 2. The room at the end of the hall. Cold open. A motel room. Somewhere between night and morning. The kind of room that has held 1,000 lives in it and retained none of them. One lamp on the nightstand, bulb flickering at irregular intervals like it cannot decide whether to stay on, a water stain on the ceiling shaped like a hand with too many fingers, a Bible in the drawer with certain passages underlined in red ink, not highlighted, underlined, hard, like someone pressed the pen down to make a point. A woman sits at the small desk in the corner. She is maybe 40, maybe older, the kind of face that has been through enough that age becomes hard to read. Natural hair pulled back. Reading glasses pushed up on her forehead, a yellow legal pad covered in handwriting in front of her, and beside it, a flip phone, a plastic cup of gas station coffee, and a manila envelope thick enough to hold someone's entire life. She is not sleeping. She has not slept in this room. The bed is untouched. She reaches for the flip phone, checks it, sets it back down. Reaches for it again 2 seconds later. She has sent a message. She is waiting to see if the man it was sent to is still alive enough to receive it. On the legal pad, circled 3 times and underlined, Room 9. On the wall above the desk, taped with strips of masking tape, are 14 photographs. Some printed from a computer, some developed from film. Different people, different cities, different years. But each photograph has something in common. In the background of every single one, sometimes close, sometimes barely visible at the edge of the frame, is the same symbol, a circle, jagged lines through its center. She looks at the wall, then at the phone, then at the door. She has been doing this for 11 years. She knows what happens to the people in those photographs. Tonight is the first time she has ever reached one before it was too late. She does not let herself feel hopeful yet. Hope is something you earn on the other side. The phone buzzes. She picks it up in one motion, reads the screen. I am outside. She exhales, sets the phone down, stands. For the first time in this room, she closes her eyes, not in relief, in preparation, because getting to him is the easy part. Act 1. The man in room 9. Marcus Hale has walked 2 miles in dress shoes he wore to work 14 hours ago. He does not feel his feet. He does not feel much of anything right now, except the specific numbness that comes after the body has processed too much in too short a time and simply shut down the parts it cannot afford to run. He is moving on something more basic than thought, something older. The Midway Motel is exactly what its name suggests. Caught between places. 12 rooms in a single-story strip off a state road, half the units dark. A vending machine with one working light humming beside the office. A hand-painted sign above the door reads, Vacancy, in letters that were once red and are now the color of old rust. Marcus stands in the parking lot. He counts the doors, 1 through 12, left to right. Room 9 is at the far end, right-hand side. A thin strip of light visible beneath the door. He looks at the message on his flip phone again. Room 9, Midway Motel, 2 miles east. Come now. Do not go back inside. I know what the circle wants with you, and I know how to stop it. Signed, D. He does not know anyone named D. He also does not know what else to do. So he walks to the end of the building and knocks. The door opens before his knuckles finish. The woman on the other side is not what he expected, though he cannot say what he expected. She looks at him, the way people look at someone they have been tracking on a map and have finally placed a face to. You made it, she says. Her voice is steady. Come inside. Marcus does not move. Who are you? She steps back to let him see the room. He looks past her. One lamp, papers everywhere. Photographs on the wall above the desk. His eyes stop on the photographs. On the wall. On the symbol in every single one. He steps inside. Her name is Dina Marsh. She tells him this, the way she tells him everything. Plainly. No softening. She is a researcher. Investigator. She does not use either of those words officially because officially she does not exist in any capacity connected to what she investigates. 11 years ago, her younger brother was taken, not missing, not lost, taken. She knows the difference because she found what was left of the ritual site 2 days later in a patch of woods outside his city. She knows the difference because the police closed the case in 3 weeks and she has not closed it once. She pours him gas station coffee in the second plastic cup. He takes it without thinking, sits on the edge of the bed. "The circle," she says, pulling her chair around to face him. "How much do you know?" Marcus looks at her. "I know." My wife's eyes went black, and my mother was waiting in a car. Dina nods slowly, like this is not surprising, like this is in fact consistent with the notes on her legal pad. "It is a bloodline organization," she says. "That is the only way I know to describe it. Most of the people in it were born into it. Not all. Some are recruited. Some are brought in through marriage. The ones brought in through marriage do not always know what they married into until it's necessary for them to know." She lets that sit. Marcus sets the coffee down. "Elena." Dina holds his gaze. "Her job was to identify you, build a life with you, and deliver you at the appointed time." He is quiet for a long moment. "How long has she been doing this?" Dina opens the manila envelope, slides a photograph across the bed toward him. It is Elena, but younger, maybe 22, 23, standing outside a church with a group of people Marcus does not recognize, dressed in white, smiling. And in the background behind the group, on the wall of the building, the symbol. "That photograph," Dina says quietly, "is from 1994. Marcus stares at it. Elena does not look 22 in the photograph. She looks exactly the same age she looked when he met her 6 years ago. He picks up the photograph, sets it back down, picks it up again. "She has not aged," he says. His voice is flat. "It is not a question." Dina shakes her head. "What are they?" Marcus asks. "I do not know exactly what they are," Dina says. "I know what they do, and I know what they need from you." He looks up. She leans forward. "Every 22 years, she says, the circle performs what they call a restoration. They believe their power. Whatever sustains them, whatever keeps them from aging, whatever it is, has to be renewed. And the renewal requires a specific kind of person." "What kind?" She hesitates for the first time. "A firstborn. From a bloodline they have marked. Someone born into the world with," she pauses, "a particular quality. They call it clarity. I do not have a better word for it. The way they describe it in the documents I have found, it is something like a person who sees things as they truly are, who cannot be corrupted by illusion, who holds some quality they cannot replicate or manufacture." She looks at him steadily. "They cannot create clarity," she says. "They can only take it. And taking it is what the restoration is." Marcus is very still. "What happens to the person they take it from?" he says. Dina does not answer immediately. He looks at the photographs on the wall. All those different people, different faces, different cities, different years. "They are all gone," he says. She nods. Act 2. What was always there. He does not sleep. She does not expect him to. They sit across from each other in the small room through the part of night that goes so quiet you can hear the highway a mile away and the ice machine 2 doors down and nothing else. She shows him her files. 11 years of files. 14 confirmed cases before his, spread across 4 states. She believes there are more she has not found. Marcus goes through the photographs slowly. He looks at each one. He takes his time. There is something in him that is very good at staying still when he needs to. It is the thing that makes people trust him. That quality she called clarity without fully understanding it. The ability to be present with something difficult and not flinch away. He sees it in the photographs, the small signs, A symbol in a background. A smile that looks warm, but sits slightly wrong on the face. A group of people standing a particular way around one person. Not threatening, just arranged, like a frame around a painting. He goes through all 14. Then he goes back to the first one. This one, he says. He taps the photograph. This is not from the 90s. Those cars in the background. That is at least the 70s. Dina leans over, studies it. She had dated it based on the printing, the photograph paper. You are right, she says slowly. So they go back further than 11 years. Much further, Dina says. I think they go back much further than I can trace. How many? Marcus asks. Before me, she does not know. That is the honest answer, and she gives it to him. He sets the photograph down, rubs his face with both hands, stays like that for a moment. His mother has been in this his whole life. He does not say this out loud. He does not need to. Dina has seen it before. That specific reckoning, the one that arrives when a person has to place something this large against something they love this much. She gives him the room to hold it. He comes back from wherever he goes. You said, you know how to stop it, he says. The message. You wrote that. She nods, but the way she nods tells him it is complicated. There is a ritual, she says carefully. A counter-ritual, I suppose. I have pieced it together from fragments, documents, accounts. One person who left the circle 20 years ago and has been running ever since. She is the one who first told me about you. About your name specifically. Marcus stares at her. Someone in the circle told you about me. A woman named Grace, Dina says. She left before she understood everything. But she remembered names. Yours was on a list she memorized before she ran. He sits back. A list, he says. The next 22 years of names, Dina says quietly. You are not the only one scheduled. The room feels smaller. How many names? He says. 7. You are first. He looks at the door, at the thin strip of light still visible underneath it. He thinks about the 6 people behind his name on a list somewhere. 6 people living their lives right now in early 2000 cities, going to work, calling their mothers on Sundays, trusting the people who love them. Tell me about the counter-ritual, he says. Act 3. What Grace knew. The woman who left the circle is named Grace Hollis. She is 53 years old. She lives under a different name in a city she will not disclose. She has moved 11 times in 20 years. She keeps a go-bag packed and by the door. She does not own anything she cannot leave behind in 30 seconds. She called Dina 2 weeks ago. First time in 3 years. Said she had heard something through channels she will not explain. That the restoration for Marcus Hale had been moved up. Originally, it was scheduled for the winter solstice. Now, it was happening within days. She did not explain why it was moved up. She said one other thing before she hung up. She said, he already knows something is wrong. He is a clear one. They do not stay confused long. Dina drove through the night to get here. The counter-ritual, she tells Marcus now, requires 3 things. First, the object they use to mark you. It will be something personal, something with your blood or hair or name on it, consecrated in their way. It exists somewhere, and it has to be destroyed before the restoration can be completed. Second, the circle they have built around you has to be broken. That means the people in your life who are in the organization have to be removed from proximity. Not harmed, removed, physically separated. Third, and this is the one she hesitates on, you have to willingly renounce the claim. In their framework, the taking only works if on some level you go without complete resistance. That is why they build a life around you, the wife, the community, the mother. They need you trusting, open, warm. They need you to walk into it. And if I refuse, Marcus says, Dina is quiet. Then in their framework, she says carefully, the restoration fails on its own terms and has to be abandoned and restarted with a new subject, you would be released. But they do not release without consequence. They cannot afford the knowledge walking around free. Marcus absorbs this. So, I either go through with it and disappear, he says, or I refuse, and they come for me anyway. Or, Dina says, we find the object and destroy it before any of that becomes the choice. How much time do we have? She checks her watch, looks at him. Grace said, days. It is now almost 3 a.m. on Friday. I do not think we have until Sunday. Marcus stands. He walks to the photographs on the wall and looks at them for a long moment. 14 people, all gone. He turns around. The object, he says. It will be in the house. Yes, Dina says. He picks up his flip phone from the bed. Then I have to go back. Act 4, the return. He goes alone. Dina does not argue long. She understands what he understands, that the people watching the house, the Circle's people, are watching for two. One man coming home to his wife at 4 a.m. is explainable. One man and a researcher with 14 files is something else. She gives him a list of what to look for, written on a torn piece of legal pad paper, folded small. Small pouch or bundle, she writes. Could be leather, could be cloth. It will have your hair in it. You already know that. It may also have your name written on something inside. It will be hidden somewhere you would not normally look. Somewhere close to where you sleep. He reads it twice, puts it in his pocket. She gives him her flip phone number, tells him to call when he has it, tells him if she has not heard from him by sunrise, she is coming regardless. He walks back the way he came. 2 miles, dress shoes, same quiet streets. The house looks exactly as he left it, every light still burning. He stands on the sidewalk across the street and watches the windows for 2 full minutes. The silhouettes are gone. That is not a relief. That is a different kind of fear. The fear of a trap reset. He goes around back. The fence. The yard. The back door he came through before. The door is unlocked. The house is silent. The candles in the kitchen are out. 12 cold stubs of wax on the table. The rings of them burned into the wood. The room smells like smoke and something underneath the smoke. Earthy and sharp, like soil after heavy rain. Elena is not in the kitchen. He does not call her name. He goes upstairs. He moves in a straight line to the bedroom, does not look at any of the other doors, keeps his breathing deliberate and slow. Their bedroom is exactly as it always is. Her side of the bed, neat. His side, slightly rumpled. He has always been the one who kicks the covers down. He looks at the bed for one moment, and then he starts searching. Under the mattress, nothing. Inside the pillowcases, nothing. Behind the headboard, he has to move the entire bed to check, one side at a time, as quietly as he can. There, between the headboard and the wall, tucked into a narrow gap, a small cloth bundle, dark gray, tied closed, with a thin strip of leather, the size of a closed fist. He picks it up. It is warm, not slightly warm, warm, like it has been held recently, like something inside it is still running. He does not open it. He puts it in his jacket pocket. He is halfway down the stairs when the lights go out. Every light in the house at once. Complete darkness. He goes still on the stairs. From the kitchen, a sound, a chair moving, slow and deliberate. Then Elena's voice, coming from the dark below. You found it, she says. Her voice is soft, almost sad. I was hoping you would not. He does not respond. You know I did love you, she says. That was real. I want you to know that. It was not something I expected. The job is easier when it stays clean. He hears her moving, circling toward the bottom of the stairs. You cannot burn it here, she says. It does not work that way. You need something we have, something only we can provide. That is a lie, he thinks. He does not know why he knows it is a lie. He just knows. He goes down the last 4 stairs fast, turns away from her voice, and moves toward the front door. His hand finds the knob. "Marcus," she says. He stops, not because he is afraid, because something in her voice has changed. The calm is gone. For the first time since he came back, she sounds like his wife, the real one, the one he thought he knew. He turns. He cannot see her in the dark, just the outline of her, standing in the kitchen doorway. "There is someone in this organization," she says quietly, "who is not what they appear to be. Someone who's been working against the circle from inside for a long time. If you want to finish this, not just survive tonight, but actually finish it, you need to find the one they call the witness." She pauses. "Ask your friend's wife. Ask Denise. She will not want to tell you, but she knows the name." Then the warmth leaves her voice, and the eyes go black again. He cannot see them in the dark, but he feels the shift, the way the temperature in the room drops half a degree, and the front door opens from the outside. He does not wait to see who is there. He runs. Epilogue. He calls Dina from the street. She picks up on the first ring. "I have it," he says. She exhales. "I also got something else," he says. He tells her what Elena said. The witness, Denise. A long pause on the other end. "Dina," he says. "I know that name," she says. The witness. "I have seen it in the documents. Always in passing, always as a reference, never with context. I thought it was a title, a role. I never connected it to a person. What does the name mean inside the circle?" Another pause. Longer. "It means," Dina says slowly, "the one member of the circle whose job is to watch from the inside and testify that the restoration was carried out correctly. Without the witness's confirmation, the restoration is not considered complete. It cannot be repeated for another 22 years. Marcus looks up at the sky. First light just beginning at the edge of the dark. That gray before sunrise that is not yet color. "So if the witness refuses to confirm," he says, "the whole thing fails," Dina says. He walks, the bundle in his jacket pocket still warm against his ribs. Somewhere in this city, Jonah's wife Denise is awake. He knows this, without knowing how he knows it. She is awake, and she is waiting, and she has been carrying something for a very long time. In room 9 at the Midway Motel, Dina is already packing her files, already moving. The photographs on the wall, all 14 of them, she takes down carefully and places in the envelope. And in the house behind Marcus, every light comes back on, one by one. 12 windows, 12 squares of yellow light. He does not look back.